Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video with something a little bit different here today. Now I realised over the last couple of weeks I've been getting more and more questions from you guys about what sort of kit I use, obviously with the videos that we make on the channel. It made me have a look back actually, and I haven't done a setup video since 2019, which is alarming. That was already 2 years ago. 2020, I think we all agree, just doesn't count. So today I thought I'd make an updated setup video for you. I'll be honest, a lot has actually changed since that 2019 video. I'll make sure I leave a link to it if you click the eye at the top right hand side of your screens. Now, unfortunately, the audio quality probably isn't going to be brilliant on this. I am recording it on my phone, as you can probably already tell. I'm rocking a Samsung Galaxy S9, so a little bit older, but we'll wait and see as to how this goes. Obviously, if you guys do have any questions about anything, make sure you let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, as you can quite clearly see, though, always we start with our sign, just obviously everyone else in the house knows if I'm recording or not. I do still live at home. I know some, obviously my age, a lot of people are at uni. Oh, excuse me, and things like that. But yeah, no, I didn't go to uni. I work full time now here in the UK. So yeah, I've got me sign there. I still live at home, obviously, with my parents. Not quite able to move out just yet, but I'm sure that'll be a plan down the line. So obviously we've got our sign just so people don't walk in, obviously, if I'm recording or if I'm staying out. But yeah, this, therefore, is the setup. I'll do a quick pan around first of all for you. It's not perfect. I'll talk obviously through this video as well as to what sort of I've got planned with it, what I'm going to be changing with it, because there are hopefully going to be a few big changes coming to the setup as well over the coming weeks and months. But yeah, I think it's generally, I like to think, quite a unique setup. I don't really think I know sort of anyone that's got anything like this, to be honest. It's really versatile. Obviously, we do make a lot of content across the channels. Normally, on average, it's probably upwards of 20 videos a week. So obviously, I need a good system that is obviously really quick, really versatile, and everything like that. Now, obviously, for those of you guys that do remember, the desk has pretty much stayed where it was over the last couple of years since the last video we did. But if you remember, actually, we had that TV, funnily enough, was there. That was the TV I was using for a long time. Then obviously we had the chair there, and then obviously the really old kickstand as well that I had for my wheel. Now obviously, as you can tell, everything is all changed. I actually changed this not long after that setup video, in all honesty, but obviously we'll run through all the kit as well. I'm quite a nerd with this sort of thing. I really do like looking through sort of like technology and things like that. So obviously, for those of you guys that want that, I'll probably go into some detail as well, obviously, for you guys. So obviously, one of the biggest questions I get asked is, Matt, what wheel do you use? I currently rock a Fanatec CSL PS4 edition. The main reason I went with the PS4 edition rather than the Xbox One is the fact that the PS4 edition with the Xbox compatible rims means you are completely sorted on all three platforms, which is obviously great for me if I want to play F1, iRacing and Gran Turismo Sport, for example. I use all three consoles straight away off the bat with just those three games. Now, it's currently rocking my Fanatec Formula V2 rim. Wonderful rim when it works. I'm not going to lie to you guys, I have had issues with my Fanatec stuff in the past. This is actually the second base, and I think the second rim I've had from them. I didn't have to pay for them, in all fairness. They sent me out a new one and didn't even tell me, which was very, very strange at the time. I must admit, their customer service is a bit weird and wonderful, but I mean, everything's up and running now, and of course, that is the most important thing. I've got a pair of Field GG gloves. They're actually quite old now. I do need to get another pair at some point. Now, I know a lot of people always ask, oh, why do you use gloves when you're sim racing? It's ridiculous. This wheel in particular, this is Alcantara, and your hand oils will ruin it very, very quickly, and it just makes it grim and horrible, and I've had no issues using gloves with it, and I want to look after my stuff at the end of the day. You know, Fanatec rims aren't cheap. I know obviously as well, I get questions about like how much sort of my wheels cost and everything like that. We'll dive into that into a minute. So I'm also rocking the CSL Elite pedals. You can see with the Loadcell brake kit, I personally think it's absolutely essential. Just obviously the pedal is a lot harder to press. I've got the clutch sort of hanging off the side. I don't really ever have to use that unless I'm doing rallying, and then it's very much to sort of match the clutch just to build up some RPM once more. So that is what I'm rocking there, and they're all on a play seat. I think this is the play seat. I can't remember. It's the Alcantara edition. But I think it was about £260, this one, when it came out. Brilliant play seat, I'll be honest. It's done everything I need to. I am tempted to upgrade to something a bit bulkier down the line, but that'll probably be if I move to direct drive in the future as well. Haven't got any immediate plans for that just yet, but maybe down the line I will dive into something with that. Right, so turns out I've got to record these bits in 5 minutes chunks, so things might be a little bit disjointed for the rest of this video. But yeah, obviously we've gone through then, sort of like my wheel, that sort of thing. Just under there is actually my Astro mix amps. Yes, I rock an Astro A40, not because I'm some sweaty 13-year-old that plays Call of Duty. They're actually really good for streaming, in fact, which, again, I can't do at the moment, but hopefully, obviously, when I get better internet, that'll be something we can do as well. I'm also got just an old pair of shoes there, for those of you guys that'll ask about that, just because I prefer to race with shoes using the Loadcell kit. I've got a fan as well. Don't really need it this time of year, but when it gets warm in the summer, it is nice to have, obviously, between recording sessions. It is quite loud, so I can't use it whilst I'm recording, but obviously when I'm not, that's all there. Microphones, I've actually got two now. Both Blue Snowballs, just so obviously videos sound exactly the same no matter whether I'm live commentating or post-commentating. I need to move this one, though. I need to position it, sort of like move the arm over to here and then sort of have it right in front of my face, just so obviously we don't pick up as much wheel noise as well. I need to get around to that in the near future. Now, the TV that I'm rocking now then is an LG 43-inch. Some people say it's too high up. To be honest, it might be just a little bit, but I'm very much used to it now, and I do sort of prefer to look a bit higher up. I know sort of a lot of people have their monitors right next to their face, but I sort of like having it a bit further back. And then above that is just one of my old AOC monitors as well, that obviously if I'm recording, obviously I'll lob like Elgato on my camera up there just to make sure everything's working as it should be. The camera I use, obviously for like the face cam and everything like that, is a Logitech C920. Basically the go-to one still for a lot of people, very good bang for the buck, and I'm tempted to upgrade that at some point, but it's not my top priority. The same can be said for the TV. Actually, I really fancy one of those new LG 120Hz ones, but they are still quite expensive, unfortunately. Up the top there is my hat collection. It hasn't actually changed at all since 2019, I don't think. I haven't had any more, obviously, that I've been able to get. So obviously if you want to know more about those, then go back and check that video out. Like I said, linked in the top right hand side of your screens. Then we move over to my wheel rim collection. We've currently obviously rocking 4. We've already gone through the Fanatec Formula V2. That is mainly used for Formula 1 racing and like GT3 on iRacing and things like that. We've then got my Fanatec R330 rim connected to the universal hub that I use for NASCAR racing. Obviously, on the second channel, we do the NASCAR Cup Series on iRacing. That's been very, very good fun so far this year. Very much enjoying that. Then we've also got the McLaren GT3 rim. This was the newest acquire to the channel. Very, very good fun. I do like this rim as well. Use it sort of with a lot of the same stuff, so I use the Formula 2 V2 rim, but I'm actually really eyeing this one up for GT Sport as well, just because the rocker paddles means it's sort of a bit weird. You can't be as aggressive with it, and I think that's the problem I still have on GT Sport, that I'm not smooth enough. So it's a bit overkill for exactly that, but yeah, it's what I'm going to use it for as well. Then we've got my original CSLP1 rim as well. I don't really use this all too much anymore. I'm trying to use it pretty much exclusively for rallying as well. Behind there, you might have noticed a couple of other bits and pieces. These are parts that I'm waiting to use with my new computer. It absolutely kills me every day because these all in, these just about 6 boxes here are worth about £600, and they're just sat on my desk at the end of the day. We've got 2 SSDs to about 600 gig, 64 gig of RAM, that's sort of the big hitter there. An Elgato, another 4K 60. I'll sort of run into why I've bought another one of those as well. And then a 4TB hard drive as well, just so we've got extra storage for when I'm recording. Moving around then to where I edit my videos. You can see we've actually got a video rendering as we speak, one of the iRacing 3-hour endurance races, so that's taking 9 hours to render in 4K 60. In terms of monitors, though, I'm running 2 Samsung 24-inch curved monitors. I'll be honest, curved isn't something that is really required, but it is quite nice to have sort of in the corner. It's something that I wouldn't desperately go out and pay for to have necessarily, but they were the same price as normal ones. I sort of thought in the corner it's quite nice to have. Like I said, rocking 2 Blue Snowballs, that is the other one, and then my webcam there is actually a Logitech C270, so not as good as the 920, but again, really good value for the money at the end of the day, and that's what I use it for. Keyboard is a Razer Chroma, and then the mouse is also a Razer Chroma. I bought these years ago. They still do the trick, and they work wonderfully. I've also got some wrist support for both my wrists, just because I've not got diagnosed RSI, but I do struggle with my wrists as well. Obviously, I spend a lot of time sat at home editing videos, unfortunately, so you got to look after yourself at the end of the day. And then next to that, we've got my headphones. This is my old HyperX headphones that I don't use anymore, and then just below we've got my Audio-Technica 8020Xs. Had these for years, they are still absolutely perfect. And then below that we've got an Amazon Alexa, who will probably now fire into life. Luckily, she hasn't fired into life just yet. Then we move around to my old TV. Yes, this is still the Samsung 32-inch, my old TV. You can see the remote next to it as well. The plan is to get this mounted on the wall just there when my new computer does arrive, so I can basically use this as a replay recording TV, just so I can have it up in the background, make sure things are recording as they should be. Again, everything's a bit overkill. Might go into more details, obviously, when my new computer does arrive, and obviously we do an updated setup video. And then next to that, we've got the newest thing that I've got to the setup. Yes, I've gone to the VR life. I picked up an Oculus Rift S a couple of weeks ago. I'm absolutely loving it so far. Unfortunately, I can't really do a lot with it, again, until my new computer arrives, but I have been using it on my PC, just with some iRacing, doing some hot laps and things like that. If you guys watch the iRacing channel, expect some content coming with that when my new PC does arrive. I'm very much loving it, though, so far. And then just behind there, we have got all my controller chargers. Nothing is on charge at the moment. I'm trying to come up with a better solution for them. I'm thinking about trying to buy like a bunch of shelves or something and then putting them inside those, because they're just a mess otherwise. And so sort of like I can open it up and I'll have like my Xbox One controllers below that PS4, etc, etc. Then we move into sort of the final area then of the setup. This is basically my console and computer sort of wall, if you will. Again, it's sort of a little bit weird. Everything basically runs into this, which I never really show anyone. That is why it's just a rat's nest of cables. So everything sort of, all the HDMIs and things run into there, and then they all run down to the bottom, and then you can just see sort of below the desk that cable trunk, and they go all the way around, all the way around, all the way around. There is loads of cables in there, hence why I mean, this is sort of the worst bit of cables. Still, I need to go around and sort all that out at some point, and then everything goes into the TV there. Again, it's a little bit overkill, it's a little bit weird, but it's really versatile and it works for me wonderfully as well. So it basically just means, you know, I can play my Xbox One, and then, say, for example, I want to record something on my PlayStation 4, I can go straight over. Say I want to record something on PS5, which I've never done to this day, actually. Funnily enough, I'm waiting for Gran Turismo 7 to come out so we can do that. And then, obviously, I can just keep switching around and everything like that. So we'll go from the top to the bottom. There is a PS3 Slim. Had that for more than a decade now, which is worrying to think about. Again, I'm looking to do F106, although I've probably been saying that for about the last 3 years. At some point, we will do F1 Challenge on that. Next to that, we've got an Xbox 360 that, again, I've sort of used for retro sort of F1 2010 to F1 2013 game videos that we've done in the past. Below that is my Series X. Really, I'll be honest, I haven't used it all too much still. Again, it's the same with the PS5, which we'll dive into in just a minute. The main thing that gets used for is my dad playing Forza Horizon 4 Battle Royale up to this point. But again, when F1 2021 drops and things like that, we're going to probably use that a whole lot more. Below that, we've got my Nintendo Switch, which again, we did a little bit actually more recently. We were playing through Super Mario 3D World. I'm going to try and jump back into that over the coming weeks as well. You know, just haven't really had much time in recently. In this box is all my controllers. I've got far too many, I won't lie. I'm not going to go into that in today's video. I think last time I counted, I had 23 controllers, so that's why they're all hidden in there at the moment. Then we've got my PS4 with this little black box is a 2TB hard drive. For some reason, PS4 games are massive for whatever reason, in comparison to the Xbox, which is a bit weird. So that is actually, sorry, a PS4 Pro. I should have mentioned that. Then we've got my Xbox Series X with, again, 2 black boxes on it. That is a 1TB hard drive. That is a 240GB SSD for when I'm playing F1 and Forza. Doesn't really make much difference on F1, but Forza Horizon 4, you do notice it. It's useful to have, but again, we've pretty much used the Series X for that now, so it's kind of obsolete at this point. Below that then, we have got my PS5. I know I'm incredibly lucky to have this and the Series X. I rather weirdly had genuinely no issues at all pre-ordering either of them. As in, I actually managed to place 2 pre-orders for the PlayStation and the Xbox, if I remember correctly. I cancelled them because I'm not going to become one of those scalpers that's then selling them off for 3 times the price. I hate that. I completely understand why everyone else hates that, so you'd be happy to know, yeah, when I managed to get 2, I did free one back up into the wild for probably a scalper to claim and then sell on himself, so maybe I'm stupid for doing that as well. moving on then to the final thing is, of course, my PC. Now, this is getting rather outdated at this point. It's rocking a Ryzen 7 1700 water-cooled, still overclocked to 3.5 gigahertz. It is slowly but surely getting older and older and a little bit slower though, which is a bit unfortunate, but again, that's why we're waiting for the new PC. Above that, this silver box is actually my network-attached storage. Again, I don't like deleting files, which is a problem when you're making 4K 60 FPS footage 25 times a week. So that has got 40 terabytes in it. Roughly, including my PC, I've got about 60 terabytes of storage now. And again, we're starting to run out, which is rather worrying. Perhaps I need to do something better with it at some point down the line. But again, I like keeping footage, so that is why that is the way it is. So I think, with the exception of basically just my game drawer there, just a few games. Again, pretty much everything's digital nowadays, so this is... I mean, yeah, I can't remember the last time genuinely I swapped out a game. It was probably GTA to play with my friends over the last couple of weeks. But yeah, nothing particularly special in the collection now. Again, where I said most games now are on download off the store and things like that. I haven't got a huge amount going anymore. But yeah, I think, to be honest, that is pretty much it for the setup video. Again, it's changed a lot since 2019. Obviously, if you guys have got any questions down in the comments below, make sure, obviously, you leave them there. I'll try to answer as many of you guys as possible. Again, like I said, I do like getting in sort of the techie side of things, so if there is something a bit more nerdy that you want to know, I might still be able to answer it, but again, who knows just how in-depth one of you guys is going to be watching. Like I said, though, it is a little bit overkill, this setup, but again, it really works for me, trying to make as much content as I can from you guys across the channels. I mean, nowadays, we're making iRacing videos 5-6 times a week, F1 videos 5-6 times a week. I'm looking to get back into GT Sport. We're now obviously doing the F1 podcast as well with Jamie, and more and more stuff here and there. You know what I'm like. I like to shake it up, vary it up a bit. So just being able to make as much content as quickly and efficiently as I can, especially when my new computer arrives. Really looking forward to diving into that and obviously being able to edit and render and record all at the same time and things like that. But thank you all so much for watching this video nonetheless. If you did enjoy, do make sure you leave a like. Get yourself subscribed as well. And yeah, we will be back very, very soon with a brand new video. A big thank you to our channel members for making these videos possible. You can be featured in these end clips as well as granted access to some other exclusive perks for just £1 a month by clicking the join button below.